Pope has delivered his annual Christmas message to 1.3 billion Catholics across the world. Last night he assured worshippers God still loves them, even if they make a complete mess of things during Christmas Eve Mass at the Vatican. In Vatican City this morning, Pope Francis delivered his annual Christmas message to Christians, the head of the Catholic Church, telling worshippers to let the light of Christmas pierce the darkness in human hearts that leads to injustice and conflict. Well, joining me now is Jack Valero from Catholic Voices, who's in central London for us. A very happy Christmas to you. Thank you for being with us on Sky News. You've heard what the Pope had to say. What did you take away?
Happy Christmas. Yes, the Pope painted a dire picture of a world in darkness, not only in the Middle East, Syria, Lebanon, Yemen, but also in Ukraine, which wasn't so much in the news, and Latin America. But he said that the light of Christ is stronger and greater and can sort this out. And I was quite struck by the two people he chose to have at his side. Cardinal Martino on the one side, who used to run the Department for Migrants. And the Pope is very keen on helping migrants and has spoken about, and he spoke in the speech about the walls of indifference and stony hearts that we sometimes display. And on the other side, he had Cardinal Kraszewski, who is the papal almoner who goes around giving money to the poor, setting up free showers, free barbers, and recently went down a basement to switch on the light in a building where they hadn't paid the rent, and they'd been cut off, the electricity had been cut off, and he offered to pay. So he obviously believes that although there are many problems in the world, the answer comes from Christ, but it also comes from individual people doing their bit. He wants to do his bit to help migrants, and he wants all of us to do our bit to sort this out in the world. And also, I was quite struck by the fact that there was a joint message between him, Archbishop Welby, and the moderator of the Church of Scotland to South Sudan, where they hope to go later, sometime in early 2020. If you remember, they had the meeting with the leaders, and the Pope very dramatically went down on his knees and kissed the feet of the warring leaders in order to try and make peace. So not only does he speak about peace and how Christ can get his peace, but he does his own bit to try and achieve it.
And the Pope, in his message last night, also referred to the fact that we are all, after all, humans, saying God loves everyone, even the worst of us. What was he referring to there, do you think?
Exactly, and that the goodness doesn't come from us, comes from God. We mustn't think that we are good because we just make an effort. God gives us the goodness so that we can do well in life and think of others. He's also actually pointed out the persecution of Christians, which is a topic that's come up in this country. There was the report by the Archbishop of Truro, the Bishop of Truro, commissioned by Jeremy Hunt when he was Foreign Secretary, about persecution of Christians worldwide at near genocide levels. But also the Prime Minister spoke 2 days ago, and Prince Charles and the Pope. So we need to look out for people who are persecuted around the world, and even enslaved. We're trying to tackle trafficking even in this country. There was the episode with the Christmas cards from Tesco's, and we need to find out what exactly happened. But behind that, there are people who are trafficked, who are slaves, and that at this time of Christmas, we need to remember them, and from where we are, put our lives at the service of people who are in need. And not thinking that it is us good and there are other people who are bad, but we're all good and bad, and we need to love everyone, and especially the people in need at this time of Christmas.
And of course, it's not been an easy time for the Catholic Church, dogged by abuse and financial scandals. Any hint to that in either his message last night or today?
No, well, he didn't mention either of those two crises, but of course they're very much in his mind. He recently lifted the pontifical secret from all cases of abuse, so that they would go in a faster way and more transparent way. So he's obviously very keen that this problem be tackled properly. He has done a lot of work. He had a meeting last February with all the heads of the Catholic Church all around the world to sort this problem out and to make them understand that this is a big issue that needs to be tackled head on, and financial transparency. And I think my own view is that the reason we are actually seeing people being prosecuted and questions being asked is because of the extra transparency. You know, in the past, it was almost impossible to find out what was going on. But now, because of all the new procedures that have been put in place and the extra transparency in the financial dealings in the Vatican, one can see if there's anything that's wrong. And if anything is wrong, then people can be prosecuted, can be asked, can be taken to court, questions can be asked, and the thing sorted out much more quickly. So in fact, although things have come up, this is probably a motive for hope that things are being sorted out.
Indeed. Jack Valero from Catholic Voices, good of you to speak to us on this special day. Enjoy the rest of your Christmas.
Thank you. Happy Christmas.